with the recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and recall takes the longest to teach anyway.
Okay.
Because it requires you to, I mean, you guys are, it's convenient because you're right by crevice, but typically recall takes people the longest because it's not like heel where every time you walk her, you like heel.
Yeah.
With the recall, you want to be mindful that you don't practice too much because you won't want to leave your side.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll review what your mom showed you,
Okay.
make sure we're at least remembering it and applying it correctly, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay?
Yeah, we found that like it also requires two people because she gets really smart and won't like stay away and just
She'll get
kind of
away.
she like will just follow whoever has the leash.
Yeah,
you know?
So
And so like the limited times when both my mom and I can go have been really small this
Sure.
week.
And that's very common. That's why I show how to do it both ways.
Yeah.
And it helps if there's someone else that can like hold Ruthie. Alrighty. So I'm gonna take the end of this red here. So what's the number set at the moment?
I think it's 25.
Okay. Was that what it's been roughly?
Yeah.
So just show me how you've been practicing. Okay, don't worry about anything right now. Just trying to see what we remember.
Okay.
Good. Break. Good. We're doing some more. Good. Okay, good. So why don't you walk this way? And were you tapping each time?
Yeah.
Okay. And then was it just the one?
Just the ones except for the one time when she was doing this.
A little bit more? Okay. So everything looked good, except we want to add movements back. Step back, right? So it's same thing with the count, and then at least 3 steps back.
Okay.
The reason why we do that is, let's say she's out of earshot. She can't hear you, but she can see you. So when you tap her, like she would start scouting, like she knows she's supposed to do something, and she can see you doing this. So that's her visual cue of, oh, I need to return.
Got it.
I do that to this day. With my dogs, they've been off the street for 9 years.
Yeah.
That if when I call them, you'll always see me just always moving backwards.
Yeah.
So like if Ruthie were to overshoot it and pass you up, do you know how you would correct that? So it'd be so you're always moving away from Ruthie. So the way we taught it was, I was holding Ruthie. Your mom had the end of the long leash. You would start tapping and then moving backwards, and the movement backwards gives Ruthie something to attach to. So one of the things that people complain about or struggle with is like they'll go to the dog park and say, I call my dog acknowledges me, but it won't come to me until I start leaving.
Yeah.
But then they'll say like, because the dog's scared, I'm going to leave. I'm like, no, it's not that they're scared, they're going to leave you. It's just not you're moving.
Yeah.
And it gives them
It
something
kinda
to
tracks.
attach to. Exactly. So here, when we do the recall, let's say you call Ruthie and she overshoots it, all you would do is pivot to face Ruthie
Start at the other.
and then start going back the opposite way, correct. And then she comes to you and goes off that way, you would pivot off like this, and then move this way, okay? Anytime you're moving away from Ruthie, most likely you'd be remoting until you see her moving to you.
Okay.
So like if I'm Ruthie, and you call her, you tap, so you can see this, and the moment she gives you that first step, I lay off the pressure, I just take a couple steps back, let her finish the rest of the way. Last week when your mom was doing it, it was quite a lot of kind of moving around, but eventually,
When
she already knows it, yeah. So yeah, it was a lot to get her to finally move with your mom, move towards her.
Yeah.
So when we call Ruthie, she comes to us, and then we get the auto sit. So it's not. It's kind of like heel. Walk with me, stay with me, sit with me, stop. This is a come to me, stay with me, and then put your butt down. You know. So like if we call Ruthie and she gets here, and you decide to move back like this, what do you think Ruthie should do? Correct. She should off. Yes, exactly. It's that whole package. So what we're gonna do is what I call my sidestep exercise. Everything stays the same. Ruthie comes, tap, moving back. Let her get to you. Come to a stop. Wait a moment. See where she settles. I don't care where. Left, right, front, back, between the legs. I just care that she comes within my immediate 2 to 3 foot radius, and then puts that butt down. Then wait a moment. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move in any direction but forward like. So if Ruthie lands to my right, I can go backwards, or I can go straight to the side. Okay, so we're moving very awkwardly. Why do you think we don't want to move forward?
Uses her, or she can just
She's going to think heel. So if I move forward and Ruthie starts to follow, I don't know if it's because she's defaulting because of the recall, or if she's or not defaulting, she's doing it because of the recall, or if she's defaulting because of the heel. Okay, so we don't want to move straight forward from her, or let's say Ruthie's at my right, and then I move like this when I turn, it's still forward. Okay, so if I go to the left, exactly, it's very awkward movements because she does not know how to deal with that. So that tells me if she's still following you, then she knows that she's supposed to stick to the body. If we move, so let's say we call Ruthie, she drives, and I move backwards, she doesn't move, you would then tap to see what she does. Okay? There's 2 points. It's an exercise. One point is to see, will the tap make her come closer, or will it confuse her? You might see Ruthie deflect.
she's doing a lot of just sitting wherever she can, but I'm not paying attention.
Gotcha. So what we're going to do is we're going to tighten that up so she should come in closer. So that's one thing, and the other thing is to cement in her brain when we call you, you do not leave us prematurely until we give you permission, because that's something that people struggle with. They call the dog arrives, and then they go back to playing with the friend. Okay, so we're going to start off, same exercise, Ruthie come, moving back, always giving that initial tap. Did she tell you why? Okay, so the reason why we want to tap every time at this stage is if I'm Ruthie, and you call me, and you start, and she responds, and then you tap late.
Oh, she'll get
She'll get confused. Yeah, she's going to think she's doing the wrong thing,
Yeah.
and she'll most likely push away.
Yeah.
Okay? So we want to kind of proof in her head that whenever you feel the tap, it never means to run away. It always means to come to. Okay? So that's the other reason at this stage we're always tapping at least once when we call Ruthie, because you're trying to put yourself in a situation where you're going to confuse her so that you can work her through it. Same thing with these side steps, we may see confusion. So when you shorten the leash, don't worry about always shortening it 100%, but you just want to shorten it so in case when Ruthie gets close, if she gets confused, she's only going to have like 10 feet of slide as opposed to 30. Okay? All right.
And so just for doing the side steps.
Correct. So you're going to start off with the recall. Now when you do your side step stuff, do let her settle first.
Okay.
Okay, let her settle, come into a sitting position, wait a moment, and then you can start your movements. 1, 2, 3, that's good. Good, now you're going to see what she does. Good. So then here, you can go 2 steps to your left. Right, now you want to tap. Tap, 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 tap. Praise. You're going to try it backwards. See what she does. Praise. To your right. Tap, 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 tap. Put it bump it, try to move. Tap, 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 tap. Search 1. 34. Yep. And raise. Good. And break. Remember, do that 1 more time. Back. 1, 2, 3. That's good. Yeah, right, good. Better. Settle. Good. Yeah. Now here, turn the facial and backwards. Tap, tap, tap. Good. Very good. And break. Good. And release. Break. Break. Good. Sorry.
She was like, no, sir.
Too many cats.
Ruthie, come.
Got a girl. Very good. 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 Tap, tap, tap. Good. Tap. Tap. Now back. Tap, 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 tap. Right. Wait right there. Good. Tap. Good. Now here, I'm gonna have you keep your leash how you have it. And say heel and walk forward. Good. Slow this down. Very good. We're gonna do 2 more. Break.
Right.
Girl.
Ruthie, come.
Good. Good. Here, because she moved with you, but she's
A little far,
she's
yeah.
too far. So just stand where you are and give a tap. 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 Bump it. Tap. 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 She feels it, then she goes. And break right there. Good girl. And break.
Break.
Good one.
Ruthie, come. Good girl.
Tap. Tap. Good. Tap. Tap. Good. That's a girl. One more. Tap. 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 There she goes. Good. Excellent. All right. And break.
Break.
Good. So, on a couple of them, she got confused and she started to walk away. But then when you tapped her, she stopped and then started moving closer. So that's exactly why we do this. It's just to force mistakes and to prove things a bit more. And this is the stuff that people typically don't account for. Um, if the dog comes to them 100% of the time, they're like, oh, awesome, my dog's got great recall. I'm like, yeah, until something like an emergency happens.
Right.
And
She's
that's
really
why,
freaked out.
yeah, when she freaks out, something like scared or spooked her or whatever. So here, by doing this and making her think through the remoting, you're teaching her how to problem solve and override flight response. But then also for yourself, you're getting used to controlling and leading Ruthie using just the taps and no verbal cue. Because most people would repeat or whatever. And once I've cued it once, it's just I make it happen. Okay? Exactly. So I like how she did recover from when she made a couple mistakes. That's all
And
good.
I also confused her a few times because I tapped a little late and she was already coming in. That's
Sure.
why she did that like 360.
Exactly. Which is why we do this stuff. That's why I tell everybody tap always in the beginning because you want to make sure you cover that scenario of confusing the dog. Because once the leash is off, that's it. There's no more training wheels anymore, right? So all that looked good. Questions about that so far? So you had mentioned earlier when you've tried to practice with Ruthie, I think you said if you were by yourself, that she would just kind of continue to
She
follow.
just sticks close to your body.
Correct. So there's two ways of practicing this. One is if you have a second person, you can force the disconnect, right? Now the only thing is this isn't realistic. Like Ruthie's not going to be held by someone waiting for you to call her. She's going to be actively doing something, playing with other dogs, chasing something, whatever. So this is simply to set down the foundation so that you understand how the exercise works and Ruthie understands or associates how it works. Okay. So when you have someone who can help you, we would do it this way because we can force that disconnect. How do you think you can make this exercise a little bit more realistic with the same setup?
I could maybe try and get her to go that way either by running, back, or throwing something like that.
Okay, sure. So like the first one, let's say your mom's holding Ruthie, and then you're walking away with Ruthie, and as she's walking away with you, your mom calls you.
Yeah.
Okay? Because now you're recreating that recall while she's moving, actively moving away from you. Okay? The next stage would be running with Ruthie, and then someone calling her to get her to return while she's running. Okay? Whenever anybody's had to apply a recall, it's been the dog was chasing something, the dog was running towards something they shouldn't, or the dog was running away because it's scared. Okay? It's the most common thing. It's almost always an away motion when people are calling their dog, unless they're like engaged like dogs or something. So it's not still 100% realistic because you're not getting that stimulus, but you're still getting the she's actively moving away and doing the recall of hearing that.
Most of our issues with recall is at the puppy. And she's like with other dogs. She'll also, like, when she doesn't want to go home, she will avoid us. Like,
oh, sure, yeah.
And she's like a bullet. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen her run, but there is no dog that is faster than her before. So it's impossible.
So like when you go to catch her,
she just bolts.
She stops and goes to try to catch her. She
Yeah.
runs away. Yeah.
Or she stole. Oh, it was really scary. She's never run out of the park before. We've never had that issue. She's usually so excited about what's going on in the park. But the other day, she stole another dog's toy, and then that dog was chasing her. Because we live like right across the street, so she just ran like across the street.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And it was funny because she waited by the street, and then when she saw us behind her, she was like, "Okay, bye," and then crossed the street to the house.
Sure.
And it was terrifying.
Right.
So that's what we need to have. She
So
doesn't like people. Sorry, bud.
so then it'll toughen them up. You're not gonna get everything at once. So we want to prepare for that. Okay. So
Sorry, buddy. She doesn't like people.
So what we're gonna do here is recreate that movement away so that we can practice. We're gonna start first with the walking, and then we'll progress towards running. Okay. Some cardio today. All right.
Fun.
Oh, I messed up. I'm going to be walking away as you call her.
Okay.
So I suggest when you call her, it's about 10 feet in, so you're like halfway through the leash.
Okay.
Because we want her to respond prior to hitting the end of the tension. Okay?
Ruthie, come.
Tap, tap, and back. Back.
Yeah.
1,
Sorry.
2, 3, good. Don't worry about the side steps for now.
Got it.
So, before I forget, when dogs are like best with topics, so like, we started with side steps to cover the topic of when I call you, your job is to stick to me, right? Now that we're switching it up and we're working on the recall from moving away, I don't worry about the other one.
Okay.
So like, let's say you're working with Ruthie and you notice like she has a really slow return. If you try to make a fast return, but you're covering like 5 other things at the same time, it's not going to stick as well. So that when you're working with her, you're thinking like, what do we want to focus on right now? And you target that one thing either by bumping the power or just like doing more repetition so she gets more comfortable and then faster. Yeah, whenever you're working with Ruthie, just kind of think to yourself, what's the topic today? Are we like last week with Mom? It was just teaching the recall. Then we put a name to the recall, and then today we put the side steps. And now we're going to like recall from movement away. Okay. Break for this one more. Good. And back. 1, 2, 3. Good. And break. Tap, tap, and back. 1, 2, 3. She's doing better than last week. Last week when I was walking away with her,
Yeah.
she kept trying to run back to your mom.
That's not surprising.
She's off like
Ruthie, come.
good. Had a girl. Oh, forgot the back.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at that.
That's right.
I'm like such a one-track mind today. It's crazy. Here's one. Not a big. Ruthie, come.
Good. There you go.
That's how my back rub and forgot to count. So
That's right. That's training and practice. All right. So now we're going to take this. Girl, you got it. Yeah, the girl. Yep, good. Back. 1, 2, good.
Ruthie, come.
There she goes. Good. Back. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Break, break. 2 more.
Ruthie, come.
girl. Actually, girl, it's last one. And back, good job. Good. Hey, that's a girl. Very good. So go ahead and heel forward. Stop. Right. So we're gonna talk about this. Good. So she's pretty good. The walks are definitely easier. The jogging on a couple of them she's kind of delayed, but she did ultimately end up turning.
Yeah.
The main thing I'm looking for is that she does the return prior to the tension. You know, that it's either the cue or the tapping itself that's getting her to disengage and move away. Because when she's off leash, you're not going to have that leash to guide her. Okay, so just kind of prepping things to make it more realistic. Questions about that? So when you work as a team, whether it's you and your sister, you or your mom, these are things that we do. Otherwise, if you're working solo, if we see that Ruthie's too kind of paranoid and wants to glue to the handler, I may go to Trevis with the long leash and tell her break. And even though she might be like kind of sticking to you, I just kind of meander around, like whatever, and don't put any energy to get her to try to go away. Because the more energy you put into her, the more likely she's going to glue to you. Okay, because everybody does that. So go, come on, go play. And then I go, nope, ignore the dog. Let them be it. And it might take you a bit, because what happened is there's some distrust in the sense that she's thinking, well, it's not complete freedom anymore. You're going to call me, and I can avoid it by just not leaving your space. So I might go for like 20 minutes with the long leash and let Ruth be rude and not call her at all. See if she breaks away. If it takes a long time, like let's say at the very end when you're about to go home, she finally breaks away, I don't do a recall. Because then it's just going to make it harder the next time. So what you're trying to do is build comfort. So she's got a solid foundation of recall. So if I see she's too paranoid about leaving, then I go, I'm going to put the recall on hold for a bit. Now I'm going to work on building comfort and getting her to be loose and just, when I say break, going, okay, and just being free, right? And then once we get that, when you get it the first time, I don't right away jump into recalls again. I want to see that repeatedly. So then finally, let's say after a week or so, where she's loose and you can release her, she's happy-go-lucky or whatever, then I go, okay, cool. Now we're going to start to little by little incorporate some recalls. So like if I go for 20 minutes, I might let her for 20 minutes be Ruthie, and then at the very end, Ruthie comes, she returns to me, I leash her up, we go back home, deal, right? And the next time we call her 3 times, and then 1 time, and then 5 times, and just randomize how many times we call her, so that ideally we don't get that paranoia. The hard part is building it towards realistic reliability, which would be like playing with like the other dogs with Trevor. Okay. Because you guys know Nash and them, right? Nash and Lunar stuff. So let's say like it's just Nash. I would use that to my advantage, and like have Ruthie on the long leash and like letting them play, but letting it be on the ground. And when you're ready to call her, you're just getting close to the long leash, so you can pick it up and grab it to do that recall. Just pull her away from the activity. Okay. You do want to be careful. There's too many dogs. I did have somebody who told me that they had their dog on a long leash and they were playing and wrapped around the dog's leg and they broke the dog's leg. So yeah, you want to be mindful of that. Yeah. That's why I'm saying like 1, 2 dogs. If there's a lot, then you remove it. We do want to avoid using the recall word if we don't have the means of making it happen.
Yeah. We've been using all sorts of weird,
yeah, like sounds and stuff. Yeah.
Here we go, Ruthie, and all this stuff.
Yeah, so we're trying to teach Ruthie consistently that whenever we say the word come, she has to return. and that we can make a return, because that's how dogs like kind of associate things, where they're like, every time you say sit, no matter how they have to sit, either with treats or using pressure, the remote, or a prong collar or something, they're always made to do it. So then sit just means if I say it, you have to do it. And that's what the dogs go by. If you call her and then it's not reinforced or you can't make it happen, then she becomes a gambler, and she thinks like, do I have to actually return to you? Okay. Questions about this?
Okay. Do you mind if I run and check your work phone really
No,
quickly?
okay.
Make sure no one's dying over.
All right. Think here, recall stuff. Oh, new environments. You know, like maybe practicing from over here. Other open areas, just to change it up a bit. Your training's only as good as the environment you practice in, which is why we like Oz, because it's so busy. That it gives the owner an idea of like how it would work in their setting. And if it's not as busy as the setting, well then if you do it here, you can do it here. But changing up things. Does Ruthie have any kind of prey drive?
Sorry, say what again?
Does she have any kind of prey drive?
Like going up to rabbits and stuff?
Yeah.
She'll chase a bird a few times, but not.
She's not like crazy for it. Okay. How is she with like passing by dogs and stuff?
She used to be really a lot, but since we've started the wheel, she doesn't.
Okay, so she
Yeah.
okay, cool. So she
Much
thinks
better.
So just to give you an example, like let's say she had a thing for squirrels, like I would use that to my advantage. You know, practicing obedience around squirrels, the heel, the recall, stuff like that. So if you notice that she's a sucker for something, you want to use that as a means of practicing, because if it's always like, let's say you just practice at Travis, she'll be right there, but then like if you go to like a lake house or something like that, it's gonna be a bit different. You have rabbit, squirrel, practice deer, all that stuff going on. Other dogs, that's gonna be more difficult. So just keep that in mind. But otherwise, the recall does take the longest to teach, because if you do too much, then the dog gets paranoid, and then you have to like ease up on it, and then you have to get relaxed before you can practice again. And you can only do so many reps, at least when you're solo, before she gets good to you. Okay? So I had you a couple of times do heel. So with this tool, you get up to off-leash level control. It just depends on whether or not you put the time to get to that degree. Because these methods are off-leash methods. Okay? So everything stays the same. Heel, left leg, the pivots with the right leg. I'm sorry, not the pivots, the crossover with the right leg. The pivots with the left leg going back the opposite way. All that stays the same, except now you're working from a 30-foot leash. Okay? So what I'm going to have you do is take your leash, you're going to put it in your right hand, if you have it. So this way, when you walk with Ruthie, when she's on the left, it's going around and behind you. Because if you do it down the middle, she's going to have both leashes, and it gets tangled up in her legs. Okay, so having it behind you like that, creates a nice big wide U, so that you get one line, possibly, but not the both lines, okay? So what I'm going to have you do here is you're going to go ahead and do the heel. You can speed up, slow down, left turns, pivots, all that stuff. Everything's going to stay the same. If Ruthie gets ahead of you, like right there, right when you came to a stop, you saw that, you would turn tap to correct her and then keep going. Now let's say you turn away from Ruthie and you tap to correct her, but when she starts to run off, you want to keep movement and you want to keep that tapping going until she returns, okay? Most people tend to stop, but if you stop, she has no reference point. She needs to see you moving in order to associate what she's supposed to do with the buttons, okay? Go ahead. Heel. Tap, forward, tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Good pivot. What's the number?
31.
Good, speed up. Tap, 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 tap. Better. Good. Yep, tap, 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 tap. Good girl. There she goes. Try a left turn. There you go, good. Tap, 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 tap. Good girl. Good crossover. Tap, 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 tap. Go ahead and try to pivot. Good, and then slow to stop. Tap, tap, tap. Good. So I saw a couple things I like. One was when she felt the tapping, she sped up and ran to your leg.
Yeah.
Right? But it was a lot of tapping. So what I'm looking for here is that when Ruthie gets tapped, what's her response? And which we're seeing, she's wanting to move towards that left leg and not deflecting. Let's go to bump into 34. So it should be a singular, maybe 1 to 2 taps to get that action. It shouldn't be like tap, 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 tap.
Yeah.
To get her to stay close to you. When you did the turns, I don't know if you noticed, she would do the turn, which was fine, but then once you kept going, she would delay.
Yeah, slow down.
Yep, so with the crossover, it's super common because you're crossing over into her space, so that they tend to lag.
Yeah.
Take out of the way. And then typically they would lag and then speed right back up again, but she would keep with the lag, right?
I think
So
she's tired too. She's like, she's laid down more than she.
So we're going to see if we play with the number, if we get more of a quicker response, and ideally to the point where she stops lagging after the turns, okay?
Deal.
Tap, 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 tap. Good. Keep going forward.
Looks like the band's back.
Huh?
Looks like that band's back.
Why?
Like, I like it, so whatever.
Tap, tap.
When you get somebody to make a remix of you just going tap tap, I'll talk to your brother.
Tap. Tap, tap. A little better.
We'll talk to Ian when he's editing for you.
Tap, 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 tap. Good girl. Good turn. Right, tap, tap, tap. Let's go 37. Could have grabbed the pop. Tap, tap, tap. A little better.
Can we go get you something?
I don't think there's a coffee. Oh wait, there's a Starbucks.
Yeah, the Starbucks right there. I think there's a DD not super far.
Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. There she goes. Had a girl. Good girl. Good. Tap, 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 tap. Good girl. And then slow to stop. Oh, that's a good one right there. A nice quick sit. So, on a couple of those, she veered off, right? About 8 to 10 feet there.
Yeah.
And you kicked in with the pressure. And then at 37, it was better. She was responding more quickly.
Yeah.
And there was one, because she got wrapped with the leash, where she felt the tap and she hesitated. But when the next one kicked in, she immediately shot forward. Okay. So, as one client put it, we're giving Ruthie a 30-foot snake line. So like when she like lagged here when she was laying down, you said heel and you were walking. Like you hit the full 30 feet. Eventually she got up and she was like, I gotta do something. Is we're teaching her how to resolve problems from a greater distance. Okay. So on the short leash, because it's only 6 feet, it's a lot easier. Here, now that she can get even further, it allows us to get the forced mistakes and the proof one, so that we don't ever get that runaway option. Okay. Questions about this so far? What we're going to add in here is right turns. Okay, these turns are very unfair.
Okay.
Because for the dog, when they're walking and you're here and you go like this, you're immediately out of peripheral range.
Yeah.
Okay. What you've been doing before with the right turn was that pivot to 180 the opposite way.
Yeah.
So she sees the leg stretching out and pausing so she can walk around it. But here, when you're walking, you're just going to be going like this. Okay, you're just turning right out of visual cue or visual range. And I do this intentionally to force a disconnect. Okay, so you're going to be walking with Ruthie. you say heel, left leg, everything stays the same. And then just whenever you want, randomly, you just turn out to the right at a 90-degree angle. And the moment you see Ruthie spacing out, you're going to start remoting to get her to catch it as quickly as possible. Okay. We'll start at 37, but we're going to start to play with the number as well. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Ready? Ruthie, heel.
Tap, 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 tap. Atta girl.
Do I just turn normally?
Tap, 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 tap. Let's go to 40. Let's go pizza or something.
Yeah, me too.
Tap, tap, good. Atta girl. Now you're gonna try a left turn. Good. Good. That's a little better. Tap, speed her up here. Good girl.
Another right?
Yeah. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. There she goes. Atta girl.
That'll probably be one of the first things I do when I'm done losing weight. Just eat like a whole pizza.
Girl, there you go.
Getting it all back. Oh,
Fine.
very good.
It's worth it.
Tap. Good. Trying to, yeah, the good tap, 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 tap. Atta girl. Good girl.
Whatever, Mr. Kuma's burger.
Tap, tap. But I'd lose it though.
Uh huh.
I bet you I'd be slimmer if I just never ate too much during this. But tap, tap, tap.
You're good.
Slow to stop.
10 pounds lighter.
Very good. Good. So, questions about that?
No, that makes sense.
So she's responding really well.
Yeah.
Which goes to show like that's why people make assumptions based on their dog's personality. I mean, Ruthie, we had insecure dog, nervous dog, small dog, puppy,
Yep.
right? And one would think like, oh, like they're going to be terrified and stuff. No, she handles it like a champ. She's doing really, really good. So, now you practice your recalls. If you want to switch it up a little bit, you do a Ruthie come, and then go into like a heel,
Yeah.
right?
I think that makes sense. I think she's still
Differentiate, yeah, for sure. This doesn't seem like too much, does it?
No, this is good.
Okay.
Yeah, we can definitely work on that.
Let's cover stay real quick. We'll just make it easy, and we'll go to our short leash now.
Okay.
I didn't sleep with less.
Oh, gee. You want me to go get you something? I'll do it.
Yeah, after this one.
Was that Noche next?
Yeah. I forgot what the last one was.
It's consultation.
Oh, it's consult? Oh,
He has the same name as somebody I used to work with.
okay.
So we'll see.
Sleeper. Justin Stewart?
Yeah.
All right.
He's my electrical boss.
For the stay, it's going to be very simple. So with the heel, it's been heel, left leg, right? So now we want to start differentiating. And when we do the stay, so it's right here, you're just going to simply go like this with your left hand and go stay. And you're going to pivot out with your right leg so that you're facing like that, right? And then you would simply pivot back in, okay? So the way I teach stay is different than most people think of it or apply it. Most people say like sit stay, down stay, or play stay. For me, whenever I say sit down or play, stay is applied. I don't have to say anything extra. The only time I say stay is if the dog's already in position, right? So like right now, like earlier when you're walking with Ruthie, she was in the heel, comes to a stop, what happens? Sit. But what command is it? Well, it's heel, yeah, right? So it's not a sit, it's an auto sit that's built into the heel. So if you move, Ruthie's inclination would be to follow. So we're going to use this to teach her how to differentiate. So kind of like how you mentioned earlier with the recall and the heel, helping her differentiate. Is you're going to do heel, you're going to walk a little bit, come to a stop, she auto sits, just wait a moment, stay. You're going to shorten your leash where you have it is good right there, and pivot out with your right leg like this. back in again, raise, and repeat. Okay? Now when you're stepping away from Ruthie, if she gets up, you want to be ready to pull up and tap to reposition her. But we're not going to say sit or stay. You already said it once. We're going to continue the movement, and then back to her side and repeat.
Okay.
Okay?
So start at the heel.
We'll go into a heel.
Heel.
Text me.
Medium mocha latte, iced latte.
Medium mocha iced latte.
And if you want something. Good. Good. Heel. Good job. Good.
Stay.
Good. Now go ahead and pause right there. What I'm going to have you do is make it more right leg heavy.
Okay, so like a big...
Yeah,
okay.
because you're doing a slight left
Yeah.
to the right,
Yeah.
and that left is going to be the heel.
Okay, makes sense. Heel.
Right, good job. Good girl.
Heel. Stay.
Good. One more.
Heel.
Right, good job.
Stay.
Good. Up tap, good. That's fine. Good. Back to her side, good. Good, heel.
Heel.
I'm going to have you do another couple,
Okay.
but going to slow to stop. You're going to pivot out in front like you were, pause for a moment, and then you're going to do like a half moon around the front half of Ruthie here.
Stay. Stay.
Up tap, good move, yep. Now here,
Can I
yep.
just stay?
You can stay how you were, so like you don't have to reposition.
Okay.
Okay.
So just keep going.
Go back to where you were, yep, up tap, and just continue where you left off.
Okay.
Up tap, good. Up tap, good. Up tap, good. Up tap, good. Now back, up tap, tap, yep. Try one more, half circle, tap, up. You got it. Then the other way.
She's a stick.
That's okay. As long as she doesn't move. Good, back to her side. We're gonna try two more like that.
Stay.
Up tap, good. Up tap, good. Up tap, good. Good. Tap, good. Tap, tap, good. Atta girl. Back to her side. Good. And one more. Yeah, we got biting flies.
Yeah, I'm bleeding.
Wow, really?
Yeah. That's weird. Okay, whatever. Ready, Ruthie? Heel.
Tap. Tap, good. There you go, good job, good job. Up tap, good. She's thinking about it.
I know.
Up to almost. Yeah. Now back to her side. Very good. And then heel, and you can come to a stop like right here.
Ready? Heel.
Good. Yeah, last a couple of days ago was really bad.
Yeah.
We kept moving around and just kept moving. That was Monday.
Nice.
So on the stage, you can practice them on the walk. Let's say you're, with Ruthie at a red light,
Yeah.
stay,
Practice
red
from
light.
there. That makes sense.
You did all that correctly. So once you're out of that position, you don't need to reset. You just need to keep working with it.
And she'll understand that, like, when I'm resetting it, that it's preferring to stay. Like, how much is she able to draw that?
Yes. So I just keep it within the context. So that's why I was like, don't worry about resetting completely. Like, just go back to where you were. And as you correct her, she's going to differentiate, like, okay, like, I'm not supposed to move.
Got it.
Now, there was one thing that she did do, which was she swiveled. So you had moved, and she just went like this.
Yeah.
So this is actually okay
It's all good.
because of the
She
loophole,
stays down.
right? So if she stands up or lays down, you definitely want to correct. If she swivels, that goes away on its own.
Okay.
Okay. So I only tap when they actively stand up or lay down. Right now, you're just keeping it with the half circles and stuff, making it easy. So, like when you're on the walks, you're just helping her to differentiate that heel means walk with me, and then stay would mean you're not going to move. And we're keeping it very awkward by pivoting in front because it's helping you differentiate between those two things. Okay. Another way you can apply it is, like, let's say with the poops, you would up the tap to put her in a sitting position. Stay, pick up the poop, back to her side, heel, go to a trash can, stay.
Got it.
Throw it away, back next to Ruthie's side, heel, okay? So the most important things for this week will be the recall for sure,
Yeah.
but we had some time left over, so I decided I was like, we'll cover this thing too.
Yeah. Sounds good. Practice both.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna go together.
questions?
I think we're good.
Good, so good job, she's doing really well.
Yeah, I think so.
If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you in a week, okay?
Sounds good. Thank
Take
you
care.
so much.
You're welcome.